don't know if I'm back yet. Let's have a look. I was on 4G and it just kept spinning. Don't know what happened. But I think I'm back now. I don't know. It's probably another video, not the old one. How would I know? I don't know. But, I forget where I was now. I think I was telling you how it's okay to help people, bar limitations. G'day, Black Cat. How you going? You can't expect people to forever, cater for your day-to-day needs. I'm good, thank you. I hope you're well. It was 106 degrees here today. It'll be 106 degrees tomorrow. But you can't expect people to keep paying for your lifestyle. It's a limited resource, do you know what I mean? You can fool some of the people some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time. Which is just how it is. There's nothing wrong with helping people, but, walking for them, catering for all their needs. Sounds like a king, doesn't it? But the truth is, a lot of these people live in abject poverty and are angry, and they want you to make them feel better, because they'll yell and scream at you and make you feel guilty that you're living a better lifestyle than they are, even though they're not willing to get off their ass and make it any better for themselves. What is the best approach in that scenario? Well, it's just do nothing. Don't give them any money. Don't go watch them. It's like someone standing in a large hall with a large group of people. They can yell and scream, and some of the people will clap. But if that hall is empty and no one's there, they stop yelling and screaming. It's as simple as it gets. Again, don't take what I say as in not helping anyone ever again in your life. That's not what I'm saying. We do it all the time in real life. But it's become a bit like Sodom and Gomorrah on some of these channels, where it's quite normal to normalise very bad behaviour. G'day, Kathy. And it's not right to normalise bad behaviour. If I come and poke you in the eye with a stick and you give me $20 for doing it, I'm going to keep poking you in the other eye, expecting to get 50. See my point? If you reward bad behaviour either by you being there or you contributing to it, you're as bad as they are. Yes, everybody will slow down and look at a car wreck. A truck's tipped over. There's all produce over the road. Some bloke's been loaded into an ambulance. Everybody has a look. But do you want to look at that every day? Do you want to just keep driving around the highway looking for people that are getting injured and hurt and cars smashed and trucks destroyed? I don't. I don't understand the same subject that goes on in circle. There's no answer to the group. No, that's the biggest point, is that if someone said to me after 5 or 6 years that the behaviour has not changed, but other people still support that behaviour, the subject himself is guilty by all means, but the people that support that behaviour are worse. If you are either enabling or codependent to someone's bad behaviour, you're part of the problem. Again, I'll go back to my analogy. Have no one in the hall listening to these people, and they shut up. There are certain people in B-class vans, for example, who would not survive unless there was this hullabaloo of people just being angry with him. Well, the best payment there is not to attend, not to scream and shout, not to do anything. Because the secret of removing people that are in your life causing you distress or anger is not to be with them. Turn him off. Unsub. It really is the secret. I know a lot of people won't listen to me and they will keep going back. But if you don't give someone a platform, they have nothing to say. I'll give you an example with Zia. I don't care if people give him money. People misunderstand me this way, but I don't care if he gets money. It's his behaviour that's the issue. The normalisation of his behaviour is unacceptable. Yeah, you could go back and say things like, yeah, but at the Alamo and blah, 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 which is nonsense, because if you say on one hand you're willing to go back to the Alamo to represent an analogy about freedom and liberty, but then you'll actually turn around and say things like, well, we can't really count on the person's past, we should move forward from today. That's not how it works in the real world. You know, if you go into the legal system and you get taken to court and they hear that you broke in and stole someone's telly and blah blah, well, the court will know and find out that you also have a record of doing this for the last 20 years. So believe me, in society, your history is recorded and your history represents you. That's in general. It's covering those people who believe that everyone should have the right to do things, but when their history indicates that their behaviour is continuously bad, then you have to question your involvement with that person. Yeah, the history will tell you the future, for sure. That's a dead certainty. But, like I say, I don't care if people give... If someone gave Zia $1 million tomorrow, I wouldn't bat an eyelid. I don't care. But it's his behaviour. And he's not alone. There's a few of them, as you know. Their behaviours are abhorrent. They are, in many cases, if you're religious, they're blasphemous to the full extent. They're derogatory to women is unbelievable. And I'll say it again, and I've said it before, if someone was like that in Australia, the average Australian would find out where he is, pull him out of his car and beat the fuck out of him. And the police would come by and go, all right, nothing happened here. We don't tolerate that sort of thing in this country, particularly abusing women. It's very, very strange. I think you're right there, Camper. I think that your online involvement will certainly be part of your credibility, be it going for a loan, going for a job, transferring some sort of funds in a certain area. An institution may say, actually, Camper John, we don't want your money. We don't believe you have a good history. So to deny somebody who has seen the history of bad behaviour and say to them, basically, moving forward is where we need to go, and forget about the past, it's nonsense. What happens with everybody is that you gain or lose credibility by your actions. That's it. If you have stuffed up and been a knobhead and a dickhead and caused people grief in the past, but you do make a turnaround, well, you're not given any credit just for today or tomorrow. It may take as long as you were, proposing all the bad behaviours, maybe years. It may take years for you to establish any credibility. There is no rubber stamp tomorrow by just saying, I own my shit. How many times have you guys heard that? I'll just laugh at that statement, I own my shit, which is sort of saying, like you're going into a Catholic priest and going to confession, and he says, I've heard that you own your shit, so from today forward you can do some more shit. And then you can own that next week. Doesn't work that way. Your credibility, like your credit rating, is judged on your past behaviour or your past efforts if you're looking for a loan or as such. So I don't listen to any of the nonsense that, moving forward everyone's going to have goodwill and all this nonsense. Well, you need to tell Vinny yourself if that's how you feel, New York Cat. I always fight my own battles. I don't go to Vinny's because he allows Bergs on there and he abuses women. Vinny knows that. That's why I don't go there. Well, the point being is each one of us has to represent ourselves and our feelings in the way we can best do it. I don't go to places that I'm not happy being at, or if women are being abused, I don't go there. And like I say, if someone owned a restaurant, the truth would be that if eventually hardly anyone turns up, it's because you're not very good at what you do and your customers are abusive and offensive. So the best way, like any way in life, is if you don't like where you are, don't go there. Don't make the excuse, and I've said this before, there is no such thing as a troll, by the way. Never has been. There's only a troll if you allow it to occur. Well, again, Camper John, if that's what your reflection on what Vinny does, you need to either address him over it or you need to not go there. It's one of those things, like I said about the restaurant. If you and I went to a restaurant and the food was terrible, the waiter was awful, and everyone else was abusive, we're not going back. That's how it works. So all these people that are so-called turning their lives around for the goodness of mankind, I don't believe a fucking word of it at all. Zero. Because history, like someone said, is actually probably going to be the future. But like I say, there is no such thing as a troll. I've had many conversations with many people saying, yes, there are trolls. They come to my channel and they abuse me. I say, just block them. Oh, yeah, but then I can't see what they're saying. I go, bingo, hello, who has the problem? You or the troll? You allow it to occur. You wouldn't allow me to come up with a pointed stick and poke you in the arse with it every day, would you? So if someone is causing you grief, I know it's just a matter of going block and they're gone. It's like magic. All that stress you had with that person and the angst, oh, they've come back with another name. Oh well, blink, they're gone as well. That's why those buttons are there. But if you wish to engage these people, I have to tell you that you're half the problem. And no one likes to hear that. But it is true. If you wish to engage people on a social format where you're arguing and bantering backwards and forwards and calling each other all sorts of names, you are half the problem. And you're saying, no, it's just the other person. I'm saying, well, you can get rid of them. But if you don't, you're soliciting to the actual argument every day. It's really easy. I mean, I'm an old bloke and I can teach you how to use the block button. I want you to click on their name in your chat and it's either, what is it, report, block, yeah, I think it's just block. And you press that button and like magic, they're down the rabbit hole, never to be found again. But if any of you would see what I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, there's definitely a change. Yeah, I agree with the Black Cat. We can always beg to differ, or I have on occasions, good morning, Scarlett, I have on occasions disagreed with people. Doesn't make my point any more valid, or theirs. It means we disagree on a subject matter, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy to disagree, and leave it at that. I won't go down the path where I am right completely and you're wrong, and argue with you for the next 5 years. What's the point? What is your education background, with all respect? Well, some people think I'm God and I'm only down here in human form, and I'll run with that. I am educated. That's all you need to know. I'm usually a fairly quiet, private person. I do have 5 kids and I do have 8 grandchildren, and that's why you don't see me a lot on YouTube. There's a reason. I have a life. Education is only as good as the knowledge that's kept and retained within your brain. You can be the most educated person in the world and ignorant as all fuck. You've met these people. You know what I'm talking about. Like I say, having an education or a degree or PhD means nothing if you're a dickhead. You know, people say all sorts of things to each other. Most of the time, text is misconstrued. And I'm sure you've all experienced that, where you will say to somebody, can you clarify again what you just said? And they'll say, well, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it this way. Because the spoken word, you get to hear the intent. All right? On the written word, you can actually make up your own intent in your head on what they're saying. Some of us love to go, look, I think you'll never stop learning. Knowledge is, does not equate to wisdom at all. Doesn't hurt to be knowledgeable based on some facts instead of just going through fiction. I think everybody should learn to do new things each day or year, if you can. Learn a new language. It's the most powerful thing going, Black Cat, knowledge, by far. Because I don't do it anymore, but I used to do a lot of how-to videos. I was involved in the, not really prepper community, but just people that were wanting to know how to save money by doing certain things. And I would show people how to make butter and bread and all the basics, how to make salt. Some of those videos still exist on my channel, not all of them. I've cleaned up my channel a lot. But, you know, if you have knowledge, if the world went to pot, but you have knowledge, you know how to gain water, like wrapping plastic around a tree. Through osmosis, you'll get water. Simple things like that. If you have knowledge, you will survive. You will thrive. Is the world going to go through a major calamity? Probably. Be it through natural processes of the universe working against us, or our own silly mistake as mankind, stuffing things up. And we have a bit of a chuckle in Australia when, say, people go on and on about global warming, which it's true, it's getting warmer, but it was 106 today, and it'll be 106 tomorrow, but for us, that's pretty normal. It's Australia. There's hardly any ozone layer down here. But I would encourage everybody, if you get stuck in a rut and you're doing the same thing every day, do something different. Really take on board learning another language. Could be fun, even if you're stuck at home, maybe you could go onto a different channel where that language is being spoken, and as you get a bit more fluent in the language, you might be enjoy other people from another country. Russian, Chinese. Is it easy to learn other languages? Sometimes. When I've gone to countries, I soak it up pretty quickly. Basic needs, of course. Where's the toilet? Where can I get something to eat? And how much is your beer? But you learn more than that when you're in a country. You pick it up quite quickly. But, you know, and some of you, I'm pretty sure, yes, I like that too, Scarlett. You know me well enough. I do like that a lot. But some people have got a book in you. I've written 2 books. There's a book in everybody. It doesn't have to be about you. It could be fiction, could be fact, could be supposition. But when you think about it, there's a book in all of us. Oh, I used to get paid to do that, Black Cat. Now I'm sort of retired. But there is, you know, I bet some of you got incredible imaginations and would like to maybe put on paper a story that you've got in your head. Maybe science fiction, maybe fiction of some sort. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Spanish is probably one of the languages I would certainly learn if I was in America, without question. But you could all write a book, and what I'm saying by that is, just pull up a Word document, write down a few key notes about what the story is, you know, the plot, who's involved, the characters, and where you want the storyline to go, and then start typing. And you'd be amazed that your creativity, because that's something that we've lost in our society. I mean, this is a very genuine statement I'm making. We have lost the creativity that we were born with. Every one of us could pick up a knife and a bit of, say, talc rock, which is like a very soft rock, and given an opportunity, could carve something. Yeah, some would look terrible, some would look okay, but some would be amazing. But then someone might pick up a pencil and start sketching and think, wow, I can actually draw. There are so many avenues of our creativity that are destroyed by this, the internet. Do you know what I mean? It's like the amount of time some people spend on here is staggering. I've had people be very honest with me, and they'll tell me that on YouTube alone, they'll spend 80 hours a week. Being honest with me, that's what they say. They say they can just click, I don't know where it is on your channel, but you can click on it apparently, and it tells you how much time you're spending on YouTube. 80 hours. That's a lot of time. That's 2 weeks' work. And I think the pay is lousy. Yep, catch you later, Campy John. Have a great day, mate. And I'm going to go and have a nice cold drink shortly. Still about 100 degrees, but it's nice. I wouldn't give this up for quids, Australia. Beautiful. Summer's hot, winter's mild, and you can grow things all year round. Come the Holocaust, we've got 65 million kangaroos and plenty of curry powder to take it down with. But I do believe, and I've spoken awesome at length on a few of the chats, I will be willing, and some other people will as well, bring some of their knowledge in a general talk. Some people know I have a seed company. I've been in business for a very, very long time. I've been growing produce for myself and my family for over 50 years. That's the truth. I started when I was about 7 or 8 in the garden. But there are people that will be able to teach you how to do other things, like how to preserve food, how to dry food, all sorts of things. G'day, Mel. I think the wonderment of what I'm saying about creativity comes in all areas. Mine, and I would say I'm a pretty good expert without being ever learning at all in gardening and cooking. I love cooking. And when it comes to those areas, I could talk for hours with people. I really could. But there are some people that just don't, and we said it before, don't have the knowledge, wouldn't have a clue. Yeah, it was 41. Mel, where are you? It was 41 here. Are you in Perth too? Yep, I'm in WA. I'm in the outer suburbs of Perth. It was 41. Yeah, but you've got an air conditioner like me, Mel. You can get out of it. That's 106 in the old language. But beautiful city. We're lucky. You're south, what, Mandurah way, somewhere down that way. I lived in Mandurah for a few years, beautiful spot down there. We never get that cold here, Black. I think we get the odd 0. Yeah, get the aircon going, mate. But yeah, like I said, knowledge is a great thing. So if you don't know where it is, so someone can put it in the side chat. I wouldn't know how to do it on the phone. Awesome Hooker will be having those sort of hangouts where people will share their knowledge, which is fantastic. Yep, we're not going to be preparing for an ice storm here, Mel, are we? Unless I go to the freezer and put it in my drink. But I'm just about done. Just wanted to come on and say good day to everyone. My first hangout died in the house because I'm no expert with computers. But be good to each other, have fun, avoid those places that drive you nuts. You can't. There's no point complaining. It is what it is. Like saying, me and Mel, I'm going to go inside. I've got an air conditioner going, but she's got one going, just to keep cool. But we don't have the aircon on until it gets about over 30. Well, I don't. It gets over 30, and then I do put it on. But yeah, Awesome Hookers will be having several hangouts where people will be coming on the panel to share their knowledge. And if you get an opportunity to find out where that is, go over there and have a look at it. Not sure when she's starting to do it, but there's quite a few people stepping up. All sorts of things. All those generalised things that you sort of think you half know, but these people are very clever at. Alright guys, I hope you have a great day. If you don't want to have any angst and people drive you nuts, just avoid those channels, seriously. Maybe you're the person that needs to start hangouts up yourself, where you don't accept any of the nonsense as well. So that would be a lot of good fun. Okay, until next time, I shall catch all you good people, and may your God go with you. As they say, old Dave Allen, the comedian, used to say that every night. May your God go with you. Whoever that is, it don't matter, but it matters to you. Good night, everyone.